When the ghosts first found us, those who were chosen were blessed with power, but not wisdom. Before guardians existed, before the last city came to be, and prior to the creation of the Vanguard leadership, a dark age took grasp of humanity. Not even Iron Lords roamed the earth at this time, simply either light-empowered beings, sometimes called the Risen, or as normal humans. This obviously created a power vacuum during one of the worst times in Destiny's history. During this time, these empowered beings, or Risen, began establishing a network of kingdoms on the earth. Some grew to become widely known. Some warlords, such as Fellwinter, Shax, or Satan, ruled with relatively iron grasps on the territories they protected. These empowered beings were actually paid protectors of specific people, villages, or other guardable resources, albeit these people were subjugated and forced to pay this protection money, so if you didn't pay up, you received punishment, sometimes severe punishment. Because these warlords were scattered across the planet, they never established any form of centralized group, and thus a more Western atmosphere took hold. This bleak existence eventually came to an end, but not before untold lives were lost to misery and suffering. As the Iron Lords came to be, what we could call the closest thing to Guardians at this point in Destiny's timeline, they lived by a specific creed, that they were dedicated to ending the reign of tyranny and bloodshed, in reference to those that were risen and were tyrannical warlords. Most of these risen met an ultimate end. They weren't forced to wear a badge of dishonor to be shamed by the public. They weren't forced into holding cells or sent off to some random location or planet. No, they met a permanent end. And that end was the killing of said individual and the destruction of that person's ghost, effectively ending their lives by execution. After this point, things like the last city and the creation of the Vanguard made their future aim to teach what are to be known as Guardians how to serve humanity and light rather than only themselves. At this point, you may think the Wild West-like ways of the Dark Age were long gone, but not all of the Risen had been killed during the purge of tyrants and warlords earlier on. Many stayed in hiding, only communicating with others as needed, but would still be sought after by the Vanguard. Over time, many were killed, some were caught, and the rest stayed in hiding. As this video concludes, I hope you're able to take something away from this, and maybe now, the next time you're playing Destiny, you'll start looking at things differently. For me, having a background knowledge of the whys in Destiny gave me a deeper feeling of immersion. On another note, I'll be making videos to cover these all more prominently in regards to the characters named inside of this video and the other less prominent characters. Lastly, if you think this video is worth a like, feel free to give it some love. Take care and stay safe out there.